So am I reading this right? Sam and Franco are both O positive?
Yeah.
Right, and the baby is AB negative.
Yeah. That's what the form says, but just there's got to be a mistake.
What if it isn't?
What do you mean?
What if somehow Sam's little boy got switched with another child?
Are you really thinking that baby wasn't Sam's?
Elizabeth, all I know is when I put him in Sam's arms, she swore to me that it was a different baby. I found him exactly where Sam said, out on the porch in the planter box. But she was sure it wasn't her baby.
Jason, she was in denial.
I know that, and I explained all that to Sam. But the blood types don't match. So maybe she was right. Maybe it wasn't her baby. Two O-positive parents cannot have a baby that's AB negative. So maybe it wasn't Sam's baby I found that night.
Which would mean what? That Sam's baby's still alive?
I mean, it's possible.
They do our best, but hospitals make mistakes.
Okay, then, but why didn't Dr. Lee catch it then? She went over the chart with Sam.
It's possible she wasn't even looking at the blood type because it wasn't relevant at that moment.
She told Sam the baby had hemophilia. How could the blood type not be relevant?
Jason, listen to me. It would be wonderful to think that this was all some big mistake and that Sam's baby is still alive. But don't get your hopes up over this. It's probably nothing. But she put the baby in a planter box, right? And that's where you found him.
There's just too many discrepancies. The blood type, hemophilia, why didn't it show up on the prenatal scans? And what about the lungs? He seemed fine when he was born.
You weren't there when he was born. You don't know how he was breathing. Obviously, Sam felt there was something wrong. That's why she went to go give her help, right?
Yes, I understand that. But Sam and McBain both said when the baby was first born, he was strong and healthy and breathing normally and crying out loudly. How can you do that if your lungs aren't developed?
You're jumping to conclusions.
Something does not add up. Sam was careful with prenatal care. She had screenings and ultrasounds, and everyone showed that the baby was healthy, just like the baby she had in the motel, not a baby whose lungs did not develop.
So what's your explanation?
I don't have one. But I know there is a time that I cannot account for. When Sam was passed out in the garden shed on the floor, something could have happened.
Like someone with a dead infant was wandering around and found Sam's and switched the babies? Come on, Jason, what are the odds of that?
The odds, Elizabeth, but based on this file, it's possible that the baby that I put in Sam's arms that night was not her baby.
I am so sorry to say this, but Jason, I think you're in denial.
Records are inconsistent. So how do I make sure the child Sam buried is really her son?
You need to have a second autopsy done. And you would need Sam's permission to exhume the body.
And that's a lot to put her through.
Especially for nothing. Jason, I'm telling you, all you found was an error in those records. There's no chance Sam's baby is still alive. And to reopen that hope and put her through that loss a second time. I mean, do you really want to hurt Sam that way? What way?
I was just talking about the baby.
I wanted to let you know that I get a little carried away imagining what life might have been.
It's okay, there's nothing wrong.
I know, it's easy to let myself go there, Jason. To imagine us happy as a family. But I know that it's not real and my son is gone, and as it turns out, he could have never lived at all.
Sam,
Jason, I hope that it gives you some peace knowing the truth after everything that I did to you.
I was wrong. And I would do anything to fix it.
I know you can't. And it's not your fault. I know Steve wanted to release me, and I don't want to keep on waiting. I'm gonna go.
Jason, you need to sit down.
I know that I could be wrong about the baby, but I still gotta find out.
What Sam said about the fantasy. what the baby's life would have been like?
Yeah, it just helps her with the grief, that's all.
Maybe that's why you're asking if the baby could still be alive. You're using the air in the medical chart.
However, I
as an
got the
excuse.
idea. I still need to find out the truth.
How you doing?
Same as you and everyone else. Have you ever been in a lab?
The guys from the CDC are trying to isolate an antibody from Tracy Quartermaine's blood to see why she seems to have beaten this and no one else can.
And?
And I don't know how much longer we have. We may not get another chance to talk, but I just want you to know that you have been an amazing sister, and I feel so blessed to have grown up with my father's family.
Even though Sarah and I were total pain in the butt and Dad held you to impossible standards.
I happen to love my bratty sisters. Dad gave me a great life. I mean, can you imagine if I had to grow up with Heather?